On on Friday, you guys watched a video on presentation skills, on tips on presenting well. And so today I'm going to go over with you a rubric, and we'll talk about it more in class. But I wanted you to see it now of what's kind of expected. And this is the same rubric we're going to use all year long, so you'll get used to seeing it. But this is kind of how we grade on your presentation skills. At the Innovation Academy, we really focus on what we call 21st century skills, and 21st century skills are skills that are going to help you outside of just being a good student. So when you go outside in the real world, these things are going to help you. So one of those is presenting, or being able to stand up in front of people and talk. Okay, so you saw the video on what makes a good presentation, and now I'm going to show you what I'm going to be looking at when you present on Thursday. So there's a couple of different categories. The first one, let's talk about what a rubric. A rubric basically just says you have beginning, intermediate, proficient, and advanced. If you're in the beginning stage, you are still working on the skill. If you're on intermediate stage, you're almost there but not quite. If you're proficient stage, then you have the skill and you're good. The skill is good. If you're advanced, then you are great and amazing at the skill. So you're just better than the average person at the skill. So that's kind of what you're looking at. And the skills are, the first one is eye contact. I'm just going to write eye. The second one is dress. So are you dressed for the presentation? The third one is body language. And that's sort of like when they were talking about don't stand up in front of the class and sway, don't pace back and forth. That's sort of what body language is. The next one is volume. Can we hear you? Or are you screaming at us and it's way too loud? Next one is pace. Pace is how fast you're talking or how slow. And then this one is the student can use written communication to share detailed ideas, information, and or opinions with the audience while specifically staying on topic. This is, are you conveying means telling me, are you on topic, and are you communicating the ideas that should be communicated in the project? So I'm just going to write topic here. Okay, now all of that falls under communication. So you want to be advanced or at least proficient. Okay, so everyone should be shooting for proficient, but let's just talk about what the advanced one is, and then you can if you can do this, then you're definitely good. So the student shows exceptional use of eye contact. So when you are standing up in front of the class, make sure that you are making eye contact with the audience, not looking down at your note cards. Definitely not turned around looking at your project, speaking from your project. Okay, at no time during your presentation so we see your back. All right, and then basically if you can stand and make eye contact with the audience the whole time and talk, then especially as fourth graders, then you would be advanced with eye contact. Dress, there isn't a whole that you're either beginning or proficient with dress. You do not have to come in a suit and tie for your presentation, but you don't want to be in your gym clothes either. You don't want to be in your basketball shorts and t-shirt. So you want to wear something that makes you that's nice and presentable. Don't go out and buy clothes or anything like that for the presentation, but just something where you look like you where you look professional or where you look nice. Body language. Make sure when you're standing up in front of the class that you aren't swaying back and forth, that you're not fidgeting. Fidgeting is like picking on your clothes or picking in your hair or wringing your hand or like grabbing your hands a lot. That's how you're judged on body language. So the student shows an exceptional understanding of using body language. So if you can stand up there straight and tall, not swaying back and forth, not pacing, not playing or anything like that, then you would get an advanced on body language. Volume. Volume is just how loud you're speaking. I know you guys can speak loud because you talk to each other just fine in your groups. But when you get up in front of the class, sometimes you get really, really quiet because you're nervous. So you want to work on having a volume, about the same volume that I have when I'm speaking to you guys in class, so that everybody can hear you. Pace is just how fast you're talking. So if you're talking really fast like this and nobody can understand you, then you're not quite at a proficient. Or if you're really slow and you're trying to tell me something, then we're still working on it, right? You want a normal normal pace that you would talk to anybody with. And then topic. So you guys are either doing shadows, you're either presenting shadows or you're presenting moon phases. If you're presenting moon phases, remember the things that you have to tell me, even if it's not in your diagram. Your diagram is just a visual that goes with your presentation. So even if you did the view from Earth in your diagram, then you need to talk about in your presentation what the moon looks like in space, why we see different moon phases from Earth, the way that we see them. If they look one way in space, but they look different to us on Earth, why is that? How long does it take for a moon phase to, how long does it take for the moon to revolve around the Earth? Okay, those are the kind of things that you're talking about in your presentation to teach about moon phases. If you're doing shadows, then you should be focusing on how our shadow changes throughout the day and why it changes throughout the day. So what I want you to do is you're at home for tonight, is to record yourself talking about what you're going to say in your presentation. And it doesn't need to be any longer than 3 minutes. So you don't have to do the whole presentation. You're just going to pick a part of it. So let's say you're going to do moon phases. Then I want you to get somewhere where you can stand up, or you really don't even have to have it where you can stand up. You can just flip your camera around your iPad and hold your iPad if you can't find someone to hold it for you, and just talk about one part of your presentation that you would say, and then you guys are going to share this at your table tomorrow. And remember, if you don't get it done, then you have to go over and do this before you can start working on your project. So make sure you have this for your table to watch your video. And so you guys can already kind of get an idea of what each other is going to say in the presentation as you start planning out what the presentation is going to look like. And so that is your at home. I have a video of you talking about what you're going to say in your presentation.